Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. In today's video, we are continuing the No BS startup tutorials. We're taking a look at the Cirrus VisionJet G2. This is a default aircraft that comes with the base game. So with all of these tutorials, we will be taking a look at the basics to get the aircraft started and ready for flight. There are in-depth videos available from other content creators should you wish, but this is for our beginner simmers who just want to go through the basics of getting the aircraft ready for takeoff from cold and dark. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. If you haven't done your walk around, go ahead and do so now. If you need visual aids, you can go ahead and click Alt-V. And you can see we have different visual aids to show you what you need to check. Once you have completed your walk around, go ahead and step on into the cabin. So here we are in the cabin of the G2. Usually with these aircraft, you would go ahead and start your batteries, but we are going to do something first before doing so. If we look to our right-hand side here, we have two pins that we must remove. We have our CAPS safety pin, that is the parachute system, and we have an emergency exit safety pin that we must remove. Now that we have done so, we may go ahead and begin starting our aircraft. So, using the default custom modes, go ahead and click Shift 1. That's going to bring you right up to your PFD screen, and you will notice down here we have some switches. So, what we are going to do, we have two batteries and two generators. We're going to turn these on. Everything's going to begin coming to life. You'll hear some beeping and such like that. No need to worry. It's all the testing of the systems and such. You're going to do master oxygen on. You're going to hear it. Air supply source. You're going to switch from fresh air to bleed. And you're going to turn on your probe heat. Now that you have done all of that, we will click Shift and Spacebar and go back to the default view. Moving over here, we are going to take a look at our initialization. The initialization is done through this center screen here. But what we are going to do is we are going to start from the top and work our way down. Initial fuel. So, we have some fuel on board. We must make sure that we are synced. We also must make sure that it is balanced. Once you have confirmed that it is synced and balanced, go ahead and click Confirm. The next step, we are going to go do our aircraft loading. Make sure your empty weight is correct. And then next, you want to type in the weights of your pilots, co-pilots, passengers, and cargo. So you can see we have 147 gallons of fuel on board. What you want to do is you want to punch in what you think is going to be required for the taxi and takeoff. So just for reference, we're just going to punch in some numbers over here. The hold time, we're just going to put 10 minutes. Next, you're going to come to your flight plan. So, if you have a flight plan already active in your EFB, you can go ahead and send it to your avionics. If you're using ATC for your flight, you would click the top button here. Now what that's going to do is it's going to bring all of the information from your flight plan over to the avionics. And what you want to do is you want to kind of go through and you want to confirm that all of the waypoints are correct. Once you have done so, we can see up here we have add en route waypoint. You just got to click done. Go to next. Origin runway, runway 19. So actually what we were going to do is we were going to switch to runway 1 because based on our weather here, it wants us to use runway 1. So that's what we will use. Required takeoff distance, I usually put in about 2,500 to 3,000 feet depending on our rate. And then once you've done that, we can see we have completed all of our tasks, and we will click Accept Initialization. Once you have done that, go ahead and pull back up your electronic flight bag, and you will take a quick look at the weather available. So we can see we have very light wind, 5 knots, broken clouds, and then our altimeter right here, which is 3005. What you will do is you will come up over here and you will use the knob to switch to the correct altimeter. Once you have done so with that, next thing you will do is you will begin to program your comms. Go ahead and get your clearance delivery if you are doing IFR. Get your squawk and everything set up. Once you have your clearance all set, you will come down to your autopilot panel and you will select your desired altitude. So if you are cleared to climb the 4,000 or whatever it may be, go ahead and put it to that correct altitude. If they give you a direct heading, obviously you may want to use that as well. Usually what I do is I will set the heading bug to whatever the direction of the runway is. And then moving down here, we have our throttle panel right here. Auto throttle, you have 2 speed references, make sure it's on FMS. Once you have completed that, it is now time to begin the engine start. Thankfully, on these aircraft, it is extremely simple to do so. Unlike our airliners, where we have to select all of our fuel pumps, then our ignition switch during pushback, we don't have to worry about that on this one. This is like a car. Engine knob right here, put it in the run position. You hear the fuel pump priming, and then when you're ready, you will click the engine start stop button. Now before I do so, I must warn you, there is an audio bug with this aircraft where it will begin the spooling and the starting sequence, and then the audio cuts off for a minute, and then it comes back in. Do not be alarmed, you did not do anything wrong. Just like that. You can see we have a caution for the parking brake. That's okay. No big deal there. So there you go. The engine is now started. Next thing you want to do is you want to come over here and go ahead and turn on your strobe and landing lights. Once you've done that, you may go to your comms and request taxi for takeoff. Once you get your clearance, go ahead and disengage your parking brake. Then you just want to make sure your flight controls are free and clear. Mess with your rudder pedals. Well, actually, I'm going to bring the yoke visibility back up. Go ahead, just make sure your controls are free and true. If you need to check it in the exterior, you can go ahead and click the backspace button. We can see here everything is free. And then next thing you want to do is you want to set your flaps for takeoff. 2 positions on this aircraft. You have 50%, which is what you want for takeoff, and then 100% for landing. Put it at the 50% mark, and then you are set to go. And that'll do it for today's video. Very easy, very simple to do. This is by far the easiest aircraft to get set up, in my opinion. Don't forget to leave a like, comment down below which aircraft you would like a startup tutorial next. Also make sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell for when the next video goes live. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.